Good morning, everybody. Today's workbook, lesson 97, I am Spirit. Ready to read in just a moment. Going live across our different platforms. Looks like things are working. I'm going to start reading in about 20 seconds. Good morning, everybody. All right, today, workbook lesson 97, I am Spirit. I am Spirit. Today's idea, I am Spirit, identifies you with your one higher self. Today's idea, I am Spirit, accepts no split identity, nor tries to weave opposing factors into unity. Today's idea, I am Spirit, simply states the truth. Practice this truth today that you are Spirit, as often as you can. For today's idea that you are Spirit will bring your split mind from conflict to the quiet fields of peace. No chill of fear can enter, for your split mind has been absolved from madness, letting go your ego's illusions of a split identity. We state again the truth about your higher self, the Holy Son of God who rests in you, whose split mind has been restored to sanity. You are the Spirit, lovingly endowed with all of your Father's love and peace and joy. You are the Spirit, which completes God Himself and shares God's function as Creator. God is with you always, as you are with God. We state the truth again about your higher self, your Holy Son of God, who rests in you, whose split mind has been restored to sanity. You are the Spirit, lovingly endowed with all your Father's love and peace and joy. You are the Spirit which completes God Himself and shares God's function as Creator. God is with you always, as you are with God. Today, we try to bring reality still closer to your split mind. Each time you practice, awareness is brought a little nearer at least. Sometimes 1,000 years or more are saved. The minutes which you give are multiplied over and over. For the miracle makes use of time, but is not ruled by time. Salvation's a miracle. Salvation is the first and last miracle. Salvation is the first miracle that is the last miracle, for salvation and the miracle are one. You are the Spirit in whose mind abides the miracle of salvation, in which all time stands still. The miracle of salvation in which a minute spent in using these ideas, that I'm Spirit, becomes a time that has no limit and that has no end. Give then these minutes to using these ideas that I am Spirit willingly, and count on the Holy Spirit who promised to lay timelessness aside. Besides these minutes that you give to the Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit will offer all his strength to every little effort that you make. Give the Holy Spirit the minutes which he needs today to help your split mind understand the Holy Spirit's guidance, that you are the Spirit that abides in the Holy Spirit, and that you call through the Holy Spirit's voice to every living thing, that you offer the Holy Spirit's sight to everyone who asks, that through the Holy Spirit you replace error with the simple truth. The Holy Spirit will be glad to take 5 minutes from each hour from your hands in which you spend using these ideas that I am Spirit, and carry those ideas that your spirit around this aching world where pain and misery appear to rule. The Holy Spirit will not overlook one open mind that will accept your healing gifts. May the Holy Spirit will not overlook one open mind that will accept your healing gifts, your ideas that I am Spirit bring. And the Holy Spirit will lay them everywhere. The Holy Spirit knows your ideas that I am Spirit will become. And your ideas that I am Spirit will increase in healing power each time someone accepts them as his own split mind's thoughts and uses your ideas that I am Spirit to heal his split mind. Thus will each gift the Holy Spirit brings be multiplied 1,000-fold and tens of thousands more. And when the gift that your Spirit is returned to you, it will surpass in might the little gift you gave, as much as does the radiance of the sun outshine the tiny gleam a firefly makes an uncertain moment and then goes out. The steady brilliance of this light remains and leads you out of darkness, nor will you be able to forget the way of this light again. Begin these happy exercises with the words the Holy Spirit speaks to you, and let these words, I am Spirit, echo around the world through the Holy Spirit. Spirit am I, a holy Son of God, free of all limits, safe and healed, whole, free to forgive, and free to save the world. With these words that you are Spirit expressed through you, the Holy Spirit will accept this gift that you received of the Holy Spirit and increase this gift's healing power and give this gift's healing power back to you. Offer each practice period today gladly to the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit will speak to you, reminding you that you are Spirit, one, the Holy Spirit and God, your brothers, and your higher self. Listen for the Holy Spirit's assurance every time you speak the words he offers you today. And let the Holy Spirit tell your mind the words that the Holy Spirit gives you are true. Use these words against temptation and escape temptation's sorry consequences if you yield to the ego's belief that you are something other than Spirit. The Holy Spirit gives you peace today. Receive these words and offer the words the Holy Spirit gives to you right back to the Holy Spirit. That is the reading of today. Next, I'm going to read our notes, lesson, And then me and the kids are going to get on the road by about 7:15 to get them to school on time. So Dean's going to get some socks on. Everybody needs socks, buddy. Everybody needs socks.
You say that.
I do.
I don't. Mom doesn't.
I am spirit. Lesson 97, I am spirit, states the simple fact that you do not have a choice of who you are. You are spirit and remain as God created you. This makes your decision a simple one. You do not have a choice between good and evil, since only one of those two things exists. Truth is the only choice that you are given. Your denial of truth is not a viable option. Your refusal to accept the fact that your spirit is simply your decision maker's refusal to make a decision and to delay the ending of time. It's your ego's belief that the false is an actual, meaningful choice. Your egoic world is meaningless since it has no effect on truth. The truth is that only love is real, and you are that one. This is the only choice you are asked to make. There is only one problem, one choice, and one answer. Time is the belief that opposites exist. Time will end when you realize that all fear-based illusions are not real, and you simply decide to accept the atonement for yourself. The atonement is the realization that you are now and forever will be that higher self. With that realization, time, which is the measure of change, ends. Time fulfilled its purpose of healing the split mind of its belief in separation. Sleeping minds have now reawakened to the changelessness of eternity, and they are united as that one self. You are spirit. In time, your choice is simply to accept the truth that you remain perfect, whole, and complete, or attempt to deny that truth. Reject all egoic attempts to argue for your littleness. I am spirit is simply a statement of fact. You complete God and are sharing God's function as creator. When you help others reawaken to the truth of who they are, you are involved in the creative process of extending the good, the holy, and the beautiful. You are co-creating with God. In time, love is the creative process in which time is utilized to reawaken sleeping minds to their spiritual magnificence as the Christ, their higher self. As spirit, you're endowed with God's love, peace, and joy. As a miracle worker, you look past the illusions that plague the minds of those who perceive themselves to be separate from their source. You are an instrument that the Holy Spirit utilizes to bear witness for the truth of who your brothers and sisters and you really are. A miracle is a change in perception. It's the exchange of the ego's fear-based thought system for the thought system of love and forgiveness. The miracle maker uses time to reframe the fear-based interpretation given to an experience in time. A miracle is not ruled by the laws of time. Rather, the miracle supersedes the fear-based laws of this world. Salvation is the miracle of reawakening to the truth. It is the first and last miracle, for it is an acceptance that you are that one self, united with your Creator. Salvation is the first and last miracle, since it ends the illusion of fear, which itself was never real. And that is the end of the notes. I'll be right back with you. We'll do a meditation, kick our day off. All right, let's take a moment, become reconnected with the surface beneath us that connects us to Mother Earth. Let the energy inside of you, the energy between your chakras coming straight from the middle of your body, let that energy reach down into the earth. Let that energy, that glowing light, expand and fill your own container and then spread beyond so that you can let your light outside of your physical form. Let that light expand. Let that light grow. All right, let's take 3 nice deep breaths, starting all the way down at the bottom of your body. Pull that air into your lungs and let your lungs fill up with that beautiful oxygen. Bring that air into your body, hold it, and then exhale with control. In the next couple of breaths, I'll count to 6 to help us. Breathe in for 6. So breathe in deeply and fill your lungs for 3 more, 2 more seconds, 1 more seconds, and hold that deep breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now exhale with control. Every little bit of air out of your lungs. Exhale all the way. And take a deep breath in. Fill your lungs up for this second breath as much as you can. Breathing in deeply, filling those lungs with fresh, clean, beautiful air. And hold that breath. 5, 3, 2, 1. And exhale with control all the air out of your lungs. Pull your belly in. And now, the largest breath of the day. Thank you, son. The largest breath of the day. Pull all your air into your lungs. A beautiful deep breath. Pulling in that oxygen for us. Hold that breath. And then you can exhale with control. Today's lesson, I am spirit, brings us back to the truth of who we are. The thing that makes decisions inside of us chooses to focus on us as a small being most of the time. We're locked in this body. Today we're going to affirm the truth of us. We're bigger than our body. We're not held within this sack of skin and muscle and bone. We are truly spirit. This is our connection to God. This is our part of the one God, of everything that truly is. You are the spirit which completes himself. and shares his function as creator. He's with you always, as you are with him. There is no separation or even the ability to separate, because your body would not be animated without it. So practice this truth today. It will bring your mind from conflict to the quiet fields of peace. No chill of fear can enter, because your mind has been absolved from this madness now. Letting go illusions of a split identity. Today, we state the truth about your higher self, you as the holy child of God. Today, let's bring reality still closer and deeper into your mind. Each time you practice, awareness of the truth is brought a little nearer, at least. Sometimes 1,000 years or more are saved, because the minutes that you give are multiplied over and over. The miracle makes use of time, but is not ruled by it. Today, give these minutes willingly. At the beginning of every hour, at the end of every hour, try to remember. Cross the threshold of the hour with him who promised to lay timelessness aside. Let the Holy Spirit bring you through that threshold of each hour. So he's got the minutes throughout the day to help you see the truth, to help you hear his voice, the voice of every living thing. He offers his sight to everyone who asks, and replaces errors with simple truth. Give the Holy Spirit those moments when we cross over each hour. This, the Holy Spirit can take and spread around the world that seems to be in pain and misery. He will bring this peace to everyone, everywhere, and he knows they will be welcome, because this will increase the healing power each time someone accepts his thoughts and uses them to heal. All these gifts you give will be returned to you. And today, here are the words to use. Spirit, am I a holy Son of God, free of all limits, and healed and whole, free to forgive, and free to save the world? Spirit, am I a holy child of God, free of all limits, safe, healed, whole, free to forgive, and free to save the world? Through you, the Holy Spirit will accept this gift, which you received of him. The Holy Spirit will increase the power and will give it right to you. And he will speak to you, reminding you that you are spirit, one with him and God, your brothers and yourself. Listen for his assurance every time you speak the words he offers you today, and let him tell your mind that they're true. use them against temptation, and escape its sorry consequences if you accidentally yield to the belief that you're something else. The Holy Spirit gives you peace today. Receive His words and offer them back to Him. And that, my friends, is really the truth. Take this lesson to heart. Allow it to open you up and make you into the child of God that you truly are. All right, let's come reconnected with our bodies and get ready to come back here. I'm going to read the question of the day, and I've got about 10 minutes before I got to leave with my kids. So I'll be here momentarily, but everybody can continue on without me. I'll hear you in the car and all that good stuff. All right? Thank you all very, very much for joining me. It really makes a huge difference in my days and has made a huge difference in my life. I appreciate you all. Thank you very, very much. Here is the question. There are only two possible choices. You are either spirit, perfect, whole, and complete, or you're a body, not perfect, not whole, very incomplete. Given those two choices, why would you argue for your littleness? I'm going to paste this in the channel as well. Great. All right. We're there, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to be quiet for a bit.
Good
This,
morning, everybody. Hi, Tom. There you go.
good morning.
Is your
Yeah, this lesson really is just saying that the truth of what we really are, and that we really don't have any choice because God has created us and we can't change that fact. The only thing that we can do in time and space, which is the illusion of separation, is deny that truth. And what's nice about this lesson is if you understand it, it really says that our fate is already accomplished. Because of our divine birthright and how God created us, the only option we have is to accept the truth, or we can refuse to or deny that truth exists. The truth still is there, but our denial can't change that. All that it can do is delay our realization of the fact that we are God's beloved child with whom she is well pleased. So we're all guaranteed because of our spiritual DNA, otherwise, how we were created, to realize that truth ultimately. We can't change it. We're like the boy pretending that he's a dog, but he's still got that human DNA. And that's what we are. And so it's our decision when we will accept the truth, and that leads to the collapsing of time. So, we're all guaranteed to make it, and we can fool around or play around in this sandbox as long as we want. Has no impact on changing the truth, and we can enjoy it. And what the course is asking us to do is just align with the truth and let everybody know that truth, so that all can reawaken and not continue to uh, struggle under the illusion of their denial of the truth of their true self. So just accept your birthright and you're fine. Thank you.
Hi, Tamara. Good morning. It's your turn.
Oh, sorry, I just forgot to mute.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Well, we are all spirit then. How we dismiss a little bit of the body thing. How can we?
I would just say that, look at it as your game token. Whenever I do a meditation, I don't really connect with the body. I connect with the truth of who I am, consciousness, and I see the body as a vehicle that I use as a pump for energy. And so, have a different mindset, but realize that that's a game token that we need if we want to play on this game board of time and space, but it's not the reality of what you really are. So uh, just look at this as your play school and start enjoying it instead of fearing it and believing that it somehow has the consequence to make you sad or unhappy. If we say playing a game of Monopoly or whatever it might be, and someone else comes in the winner, that doesn't, we don't go around and say, well, boy, I've lost and I'm now forever damned. You just say, hey, it's a game and it was fun. Now I'm going back to the truth of who I really am. So, yeah, the whole mindset has to change. That's why this is mind training. It's changing our focus and our belief that we are the body and the body is us to the idea that we are unlimited spirit. We are a child of God and that we're just here uh, playing and honing our skill and demonstrating as an idea of individuated consciousness that what would love have us do. So we're demonstrating and we complete God. God is cause, we affect, or God the Father is cause, we affect. And we're two sides of one indivisible coin. We're going about Godding, and that's what this course says. You co-create with God when you accept the truth of what you are and extend that to your brothers and sisters in all things in your world of perception. Thank you.
But hi, now I'll speak. Um, I can see that perspective. I am not the body, but I also prefer the perspective that the body is itself spirit, and that nothing in creation is not made of spirit. Everything is the one consciousness. So, because for me, what happens or what happened was there was, kind of like a rejection of my embodiment, but which didn't foster love for me in my world, in my experience, um, and when I began to accept my embodiment or the embodiment and to really recognize that the body itself is divine, it's spirit, it's love. It's just, I mean, maybe from the perspective of physics vibrating at a slower speed or something than thought or something. But yeah, so I mean, that's how I'm starting to see the oneness of all bodies. Like we are one organism, we are one. There is one. There's only one. There's only one anything, including material, including things, and objects. And it's all just that one divine spirit. I am complete.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thought as well. That's a beautiful idea. Everything's spirit. There's any way, I mean, or there's any story here among us that somebody can share or something that where doing these kind of practices of meditation or something like that can have release of pain, because, well, I haven't experienced it deeply myself, but I heard so many stories, and I know that's a good way to have like practical examples of this, because when you let your mind connect in this open space within the imagination, it really can ease the system of your body, so it cannot be controlled by pain. But I haven't tried so deeply myself. I have done probably more things about manifestation than in healing itself in the body. So if I would love to hear if anybody has here a nice story about how to experience the concept of being a spirit in terms of releasing body pain, because I guess that's a good way of having this as a practical example. No? Is anybody here having some? Divine. Do you have
Hi.
something to share? Good morning.
Hi, Grand Rising. Um, well, meditation is a tough one for me because I'm still working on clearing the thoughts, but I did find a very magical one. And I do want to say that there's a lot of tools for releasing pain from your body. My best friend is a Chinese medicine doctor, an acupuncturist, and he's taught me so much about how things that we're feeling physically, they all started with a thought or an emotion or something that we couldn't process. So the one that I want to give you that works for me magically, um, is breath work. It's so interesting, right? Because I get lazy and I haven't done it in a long time. So this might be a reminder from my higher self to try it again. But and I mean kind of the breath work that you would do. And there's different kinds. There's fast, there's slow. I mean, there's routines, but the kind where you're doing it for 30 minutes straight, just the same one. Um, yeah, I start to get into my body and like something shifts and everything that's in my body trap starts to come out. So the crying or just shaking or just like I just kind of just let it all out. But when you do that breath work for long enough, like Wim Hof is a great one, you know, the 11-minute routine, everyone loves that one. I'll do like two of those. But yeah, it's funny, like I'll start to cry, and I've done it in group sessions before, different kinds, with different teachers, and it's always the same. People around you will start to cry, will start to feel emotions, will start to shake. And the it's said like it's this thing nobody talks about, but like all the breath work coaches know that people will soon, if you get them all doing this breath work together. And it's also interesting, the energy in the room kind of becomes cohesive, and it's like palpable, the energy just like of everybody just like breathing together and feeling that, like, just let it go, let it go. My favorite ones are the ones that are like the exhale, you can actually vocalize and be like, because then,
Yes, I did
people,
have an
right?
experience with that one. Yeah, I did have an experience, but it was with smell. We did a session, like we were all facing we were all in a circle, and we were all facing outwards. I mean, we cannot see each other. And we were sitting, and yeah, in the breath work, we have to just release the like a sound, not chanting or anything. It was just like this, like a sound. And yeah, it all came down to a point where everybody has the same tone, and when everybody just released the voice like that, I started to smell some kind of flower. Uh, I don't know which flower could be that, but it was a flower scent that was so beautiful that when we ended and I opened my eyes, I asked the teacher, like, what is that smell? What did you put? And they said, nobody has done anything. And I was the only one who was smelling that thing. And it was
Mm.
beautiful. It was, and they were all no, but nothing. But it was so strong. It was really like if some kind of scent was placed in front of me, and my entire nose was just smelling this flower. It was beautiful. But well, okay, let's go. Just you made me remember that part.
Oh, no, I'm glad you said that because I don't know if you know, but like when you smell flowers, like that's typically like, I don't know, like the angelic realm or like guides like connecting with you through smell because like it has happened to me before. And yeah, it's just for you. Breath work isn't just for releasing pain, but also for connecting, however you connect. So it's really interesting that you said that you started to smell that, and I was thinking like the Virgin Mary or something. I don't know.
I don't know
But
which flower it was, but it really was a smell that I will never forget. I guess when I found it again in my life, if I ever do, I will say, yeah, that's it, because it's really very peculiar for me to have that strong smell in my memory. It was beautiful.
and it's gonna be with you forever. That's the thing about smells. They never ever leave you. It's so cool. Thank you for sharing that, Adriana.
I have something to add. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, my friend. Glad to see
Hello,
you.
Adriana. Always good to hear you. Yes, I would agree with that, Divine. The breath work, my breath work, and I've been a little bit, haven't done it in a few days, and I miss it. I do Breath of Fire, it's called. It is Kundalini Yoga. And it is, like you said, Divine, it's something. It's done in spurts, usually of 3 to 5 minutes. And then you do deep breath, and then you go back into it again over the course of maybe a half an hour to 45 minutes. It's really beautiful practice. And I feel like it's a great, breath work is a great complement to what we're doing here because I feel like this treats the mind, but then you have to treat the body because the body holds on to emotion and energies that need to be released. And I've definitely had that experience of crying and shaking, and it feels amazing. And in that process, I tend to, it's almost like I forget that I have a body. I've gotten to that place. And I guess it's just pure, you go into awareness, your higher self, you connect with that. And it's just beautiful. And I've really forgotten I had any pain at all. And it seems like when I have something going on with the left side of my body, my leg, and there are times when I don't feel it at all. Like there's nothing, like it's nothing. And when see, it's a remembering. And then when I remember it, oh, why is it gone? Oh, here it comes again. It's because it's my mind. So, and I totally get that. So I know it's going to totally go away one day and it's not going to come back because I've had experience of healing. I think I'd share with Bob and maybe you guys, I've shared it some time ago about healing myself. And I actually love working on myself. It's kind of fun, actually, if you make it a fun thing to do. And Adriana, you can definitely experience that again. There's no reason why you can't have that and other experiences. When I'm doing Breath of Fire, I tend to see colors. I'm a person that will see different colors, and each of us is so uniquely individual. Other people have visions where they see things. So, yeah, I love breath work. So that's my share. Thank you.
Yeah, and what can be more essential than breathing, right? That's why probably is a good way to connect with the idea that you're a spirit, that you're not the body, you are not the body. And that's why I remember that this guy that I always talk about, Lars Mull, the one that wrote several books that comes from his knowledge in Aramaic, um, uh, reading of the Gospels and things like that. He always said, like, I mean, that's what I get the idea of breathing in the Holy Spirit and breathing out kingdom of heaven, because it's part of the teachings of the Essenes in the Jesus time. I mean, when Jesus was on earth. And he always talks about breathing, and every single culture has a lot of practices around breathing. So of course it could be another great tool to have as a practice in order to feel more as a spirit than as a body. Meditation can help, of course, but when you deal with the breath work, it's really overriding every single other perception that you have in the body, right? It's so essential for us to breathe that we disregard that we can also just be present through the breathing work and dismiss everything around it. When you are forcing your breathing into some rhythm, a specific rhythm, you are forcing your entire system of your body to be fixed in a specific form, and then you get to disregard everything else. I mean the pain and other senses, I guess. So it's another way to meditate. It's like when you're doing chores that are really automatic or mechanical, and you do it like just by default, that your body is just working and your mind is like really all over the place thinking even in whatever it is outside the world, and you are still doing things. You are not the body, you are spirit.
Oh,
If
yes,
any,
it's absolutely a meditation. I feel like it's
yeah,
the highest
great.
level of meditation for me, as I've done other types of meditation, and this has been the absolute best for me.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I'm trying to get a handle on your use of the phrase breath meditation or um, b- working on your breathing. Are we talking? Are you talking? I'm just asking here. Are you talking about countdowns or count ups? Are you talking about different types of short breaths versus long breaths, deeper breaths versus shallow uh, depths? That's a hard word to say. Depths.
Depth, yes.
I'm just
Um,
There's different forms.
yeah, there are different types. Breath of Fire is specific to Kundalini yoga. You might want to like YouTube it or something. Also, there's a Kundalini Club Kundalini right here on Clubhouse, which I'm a part of. I'm actually a in Breath of Fire teacher training, and you do specific preparation to get into the mudra or the pose, and then um, you're focusing your eyes are closed. You do specific things to prepare. I don't want to get into it here, but it kind of sounds like this. You're doing even breathing in and out, and you do a round of 3 minutes. Um, it is an Eastern type of yoga or meditation. I think it's been done probably for hundreds of years, so it's not a new thing,
It's
I
like the
believe.
breath work Michael does, Bob. Michael has that part of the of the breath work in the healing circle.
Right,
It's like
and
kind of
then
like
with
that.
right, and then with Breath of Fire, you end that round with a round of deep breathings, kind of like what Lee does, like longer breaths. So you breathe in and hold it, and then exhale. But there's something biomechanical happening with your body. Um, it puts you in a certain state. I can't explain the physics of it, but I know it's doing something for your body, and that somebody else might have a better explanation. And like Divine said, Wim Hof as well. Could look him up on YouTube. He's really good. Um,
I can
the different
contextualize
types.
a
Hmm.
little bit if you like. Um, these are pranayamas. So pranayama is ayama is the restraint, or like it's like a kind of like a path, really like a going. So so pranayamas are really different methods for um, either restraining or manipulating the path of the breath. And they're ancient, like it's like thousands. It's like the pranayama is the earliest form of yoga. Yoga used to be asana. became like the first text that taught asana exclusively. Like in the past, like early on, asana was really just sitting, the seated, you know, it was lotus was a, in many early yoga texts, the lotus posture is the only asana posture that is specified, and it's really just a um, like, how do you sit for meditation and pranayama. And then in like roughly 1400, a text came out, the Hatha Pradipika, which is the first text that taught asanas, mudras, pranayama, like a Hatha yoga as an entire system for um, achieving enlightenment, right? Going beyond the body and divinizing the body. That was really the first. Well, it draws on tantra, which is sort of all about divinizing the body, but tantra is very ritualistic. So, yeah, breath and mind are intimately connected. When you control the breath, you control the mind. I mean, that's, at least that's the teaching, one of the main teachings in the text that I'm working on. But also Wim Hof, interestingly enough, um, is drawing his method from a Tibetan uh, uh, breath yoga method, and I'm not sure if it's not breath of fire. I don't know. I haven't done Wim Hof, but it's not.
No, his isn't Breath of Fire, I don't think.
Yeah, it's not a breath of fire, but it is. It does generate heat in the body. A lot of these methods are about like generating the heat in the body. Um, and there's one text so I have a friend who works on the Tibetan the Tibetan tradition of this, which is called Tumo, I think, and they use this method for all kind, you know, like they levitate and they do all kinds of things by manipulating the breath in the body. Um, and then you can like in the text I'm working on, it's not just the raising of the Kundalini, but like all kinds of powers. The body becomes just completely transformed through the manipulation of the breath. Um, yeah, so I think Wim Hof took that and used it, you know, made it westernized it and made it a method for. I mean, he also does in some ways. I think there's a lot of like immersing oneself in ice water and things with Wim Hof. So he did kind of go beyond the usual um, kind of parameters of the body using that kind of method. And
Yes, he does the cold showers, which I've tried as well.
Ah, that's
And
the guy
there's,
who always swims in cold, icy places, right?
yeah,
Ah,
Yeah.
I know
there's
who he
something
is.
to
I have
that, to
seen
take
him.
in a
Yeah,
cold
he's
shower.
amazing.
Hmm.
He's
I,
Even
I,
if you
amazing.
I
can do a cold shower, that's a pretty
And he
amazing
releases
experience.
folios of people. I mean, I've seen him in YouTube, and he releases fears, folios, yeah, disease in some form through that work with cold water and breathing. Yeah, that I have seen that. That he's amazing. Yeah.
I've tried the cold shower once. It
And
ain't
how did it
happening
One
a
go?
time.
second
How
time.
did it go?
It just ain't happening a second time.
but you can
It
also
takes,
really
it's a challenge.
you can also really quiet the mind just by witnessing the breath without manipulating it all. If you just, you know, it's like meditation on the breath. That's another meditation on the breath, is simply observing the path of the breath. That is also is very calming for the mind.
Good
And I want to
morning.
just throw
Uh,
in, yeah, your prana is your life, the life force that kind of breathes us. Is that right, Divine? I believe. Um, I'm still learning all the everything
Yes,
behind it.
yes.
Yes.
And in
Thank
Ayurvedic,
you.
in Ayurvedic, the medical, they have another sort of, and that looks to early speculations in the Upanishads. But the prana in that system, prana is like a large category. It's life force, but it's also the breaths of the body because it's a physical system, right? And then they have sub pranas. One of those is called prana itself, and it circulates above. The apana circulates below, and then I never remember them all, but there's samana, udana, and these are all just different breaths in different parts. But like you can, like even though it's the wind in the body, it's not just the lungs and the diaphragm and the abdomen, like it circulates everywhere, kind of thing. Just like, I don't know if you've ever been doing a yoga class and they're like, breathe into your feet. I said that to one of my therapists once, and she's like, can you breathe into your feet? I'm like, yeah, you can't. She's like, no. She's a very linear thinker, so
I used to think that was so weird. Now I get it.
Yeah, it's really powerful. I'm wondering, I hope
So the
I,
word is the
go.
no. Go ahead, Adriana.
No, no. It's just that I'm seeing Tom so happy in his mountain,
Mm.
smiling all the way while we speak about this. And I'm wondering, what is he thinking? Because he
Yeah.
looks so joyful there.
Well, the word
But go ahead,
today
Tom.
is the lesson is I am spirit. And when I think of the word inspiration, um,
That's a good one. Yeah,
it, the word
inspiration. Inspirit.
inspiration,
Yeah,
or if you're inspired to do something, um, then
you're
we take
inspired.
in
Wow.
something. What are we taking in? We're taking in more of the spirit that's already there. And I think that the breathing, I'm just I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm not expounding on anything that I'm an expert in at all. But to me, the different types of breathing have more to do with remembering that I am spirit, because it makes me focus on things other than physicality. I am spirit. I am one with God. I am one with all the other children who are playing around here. Um, and I think, as with anything, you can take it and go off on into different types of breathing. I mean, if you're a trumpet player, you've got to learn a lot of different ways of breathing, because that's how that breath that comes out changes into music. Um, but if you're a guitar player, it doesn't really affect you. So I'm thinking about breathing in other ways. I think it's fascinating to hear y'all talking about the different ways that we can do this. Michael, my brother, as Adriana mentioned before, when he does his healing, um, he does do a lot of breath work, different kinds of breath work, and usually with visualizations of some sort. And I think that the visualizations are very important, because that, that gets us more in tune with the non physicality of our spirit. We are spirit. I am spirit. That's today's lesson. So we're getting closer to the essential lesson, which I think we would probably all agree, if you think about it. This is a very 3-word, concise statement of absolute truth that we are. It's a very simple lesson. It's easy to remember once an hour. And the idea of thinking about it as the clock ticks from 58 seconds, 59 seconds 60 seconds, 1, 2, 3, that we are more important and more aware of time and not the slave of time. That's to me what I am spirit. That's what that means to me, mostly. I'm just going in a slightly different direction here. I think everything else has been fascinating. Um, the only thing I ever knew about the Kundalini thing was that when I got kind of this chilly feeling of something really holy or spiritual or miraculous, it went up and down my spine, and that somebody said to me, "That's your Kundalini." And so I don't know. Kundalini is supposed to be a snake or something. Never did figure all that stuff out. And I'd be very happy to hear someone explain that just a little bit better, so I can put that aside and understand it. But I do think that breathing is one of the closest things to experiencing that we are spirit. And I think it was Tamara who said, when you do breathe, you can breathe into all the areas of the body. I think that's terrific. Those are just some thoughts, listening, enjoying very much
I
everybody's.
wanna remember to everybody where we come from, because it's fun. I mean, I always, when I found this kind of small, big, huge titles on these lessons, I always go back to the other titles to see like the storytelling. And we come from lesson 91, miracles are seen in light. Then lesson 92, miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. Light and joy, this is 93, light and joy and peace abide in me. 94, I am as God created me. Then I am oneself, united with my Creator. Then salvation comes from my one self to finally arrive in today's lessons, that is, I am spirit. So if you see the guidance here, it's yes, you need to be willing just to see the light, because fear will just shadow the light that it's among everything. And then when you really are determined to see light, you will see that light is where the strength comes from, not from the fear and the anger and the things that you tend to think that are like powerful because it's like the male force. No, it's just that light is the strength, not like the other way around. Light and joy and peace is within us. It has always been within us because everything is made out of light. The thing about the Kundalini, Bob, is just simply like the vertical axis that you have in energy centers. And those are like the color of the rainbow because, of course, we are all made by the light, but we are considering ourselves like incomplete. So if you see the chakras, each one of them represents a color, and it has a lot of meaning around anything that you can have in life in the level of the form. If you remember the rainbow map that I sent you before, those vertical energy points will be related in the level of the form in several areas and several things in your body and in your surroundings and in your emotions. But it's just like the refraction of one single light that is God. So you have the rainbow within you. As you perceive everybody outside, like in different shapes, forms, colors, your body itself, it's a rainbow. It's a perception of a refracted light that it's coming from other source that is not your body itself. Your body is just a manifestation of a refraction of light. So light and joy and peace abide in me, because those center point, I mean, those chakras and those colors that you have within you comes from that joy and peace, and they are within you. And I am as God created me, because the rainbow comes from the light. Yeah? And I am one self united with my creator, because of course I am light. Salvation comes from my one self when I really make my make my work out of my egoic mind to think that I'm the source of the light, because I'm not the source of the light. In fact, I am part of the light that think itself that it's refracted. And when you understand that, then you of course open yourself, your mind, your heart, and every other chakra that you have in your body to be acknowledged as one with one source that it's outside of you. And then I am a spirit, because as you see your body and as you see colors outside of you and as you see everything being like different shapes, forms, and things, they are just illusions of one single light. So I don't know if this makes sense to everybody, but now that Bob made that question, it really hit me in another like way around the color theory and things like that, because it is really one single light, but we just see it refracted, right?
You know, I have to. I think it might be interesting to explore something if everyone's interested. It's one reason that we are identifying with the body, and I think it's super interesting. Um, when we identify with who is I, and we think we're body, it's because, okay, actually, maybe we should do it takes literally just 2 seconds to do. Well, maybe about 10 seconds. If we were to say, if we were to close our eyes and not say out loud the word I, and just in our mind, and then switch to the word E and try to do that back and forth. When you close your eyes and do that, tell me afterwards what it's like. Let's do that for about 10 seconds or even 5 seconds, maybe.
But I didn't understand. I should close my eyes and I should say to myself I and then E.
Yeah, but don't say it out loud. Just
Okay.
say it with your mind.
Okay.
All right. If you had the sensation of your tongue, your back of your tongue, or something wanting to move up and down, did anyone have that? If you did, flash your mic.
No, but you know what? I was thinking that maybe my Spanish perception of the words gave me another kind of situation with your exercise. So I would
That's
love to
okay.
hear. I would love to hear other people's experience with your exercise.
Yeah, if maybe no one felt that, but usually when you think, well, when you have memory, or you're doing a task, your eyes are actually, if you close your eyes and had visualization, you would have your eyes would be moving. Your throat, there's like all kinds of muscle engagement that's happening, even if you're not talking, but you thinking in words, or express, like you have words going through your mind, which brought me to the connection of why they use the breath, because there's not a focus on words, but rather,
Exactly.
yeah, it takes, yeah. And what's interesting about that is because they're using the breath, because they're going to spirit, but in the uh, language machine, so my friend calls it, is how we're identifying with who we are, what we're saying, and what we're thinking, or what's going on in our mind. It actually engages muscles in our body, many of them, not just the throat, but I actually feel an oscillation in my ears, even when I'm close my eyes and I'm just focused on saying I E, just by focusing on those and not moving, not doing anything. It's muscle engagement, so we feel the sensations in our body. And when we speak, we use body gestures, we use the body language. we use our hands, we use all kinds of things. And so we're focusing. So that's why we're identifying with body. I just thought I'd make that connection. Just thought that was really interesting hearing this, because whenever I've meditated, I've done different things where I focus on relaxing my muscles. That's how I would get to have an experience of expanse and nothingness, and but that's how I did it. But the breath, I see how the breath would do the same. Well, maybe I don't know about the same because I never did it. But I can see how it's definitely taking you out of the body experience. So I thought I would share that connection that I made, whether anyone else did or not, it's fine. And whether they're able to, go between those sounds without their eyes moving, without noticing if anything moves. You
I
know,
like Andy. I like that because in any way that we can, we should try and move occasionally towards the idea that we are spirit or spiritual, or um, we may be having the human experience, but we are spirit. So, in that sentence of today's lesson, I am spirit, any way that we can get back to the basic element from which the rest of our body, and also not so much body as much as personal attitudes and understanding of life, all of that stuff is spiritual, and it has to do with that understanding of things. I know that my brother Michael, who's also a seventh degree karate master, in order for him to get his seventh degree black belt, he did something which knowing Michael, he did do it, no question. But what he has to do is break not just a concrete block or something ordinary and simple like that, or three pieces of wood. He has to break a rock. And what he has explained to me with that is that his hand, after he's practiced and done it wrong enough times, he finally got into an understanding relationship with energy and his mind, and focused it on the side of his hand that was heading towards the rock, so to speak. And you could actually see his hand shake a little bit. I saw him. And then he never actually touches the rock. He is focusing this energy straight down at the rock as if to slice the rock, but he doesn't have to even touch the rock. The body is totally irrelevant. His hand is totally irrelevant. At that point, I have to say that's very spiritual. I'm sorry about the rock, but it's amazing when we think of what that means, that with the mind, he's able to focus energy in one place and split a rock without actually even touching it. And the process that he had to work with is breaking things and not having enough focus yet and hurting himself until he got
He
to the point of going
disregarded
beyond that.
focus. Yeah, he must disregard the focus on his knowledge on the level of the form, in fact. And that's what Lillian did as well, because when they released like all the attachment to the level of the form is when they can really draw the energy through his own like vessel and just focus it in one single point. That it's what they did. Lillian also said that she didn't touch the thing that she broke, and she's smaller even than Michael. So what I'm finding about all this is that really the mind needs to disregard every knowledge that it has in order to be able to just to move energy around it.
Oh, I just want to make sure that I didn't confuse anybody because I was just trying to, I think, show how I understood how the body is only identifying because of the language because of language.
Yeah, and
Oh,
language is part of the constructs of the level of the form. So that's
yeah,
why the breath work is so important because in the breath
yeah.
work, you don't get to focus in anything else, just breathing. And in fact, Bob's brother, when he does his work, he's really like careful on the way he explains his work in this healing circle because he knows now how powerful the energy is. So he really respects the power of this energy, and he really is very insistent in that this is something real. It's more real than the things that you see with your eyes. So he always gives you this idea. And when he does the breath work, you can get this. It's like the breath of fire that Janine was talking about. It's so fast that you don't have even time to think. I mean, your mind cannot think because breathing is so essential. It's the most essential part of your body, in fact. So when you really focus on the breath work, there's no space in your mind to bring any kind of cognitive analysis of what is going on because the body, the full energy of your body is concentrated in just moving the air in and out, in and out, in and out, and that's a huge amount of uh, yeah, that's a huge amount of physicality to work with within your body. I don't know if I said that right, but it's really important to 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 come to this conclusion with the breath work. It really overrides the thought process. Your perception is override because you're so focused on the breathing, and the breathing takes all the resources on your body that you really don't think. You don't think, and if you're doing it like with a little bit of fear or whatever, you can get dizzy and you can get fear. But if you continue and you push yourself further away, you will see like really, it's like going through the veil, because the breath work can give you so many intense emotions that if you get in fear and you stop because you started to cry, or you started to get a little bit dizzy and you started to get in fear, you will of course or pass out for doing it like with the mind instead of the full presence of your body. Or if you just really lose everything and surrender everything and just focus on the rhythm and the rhythm and the rhythm, then you will see the experience that Janine was talking about, like you or divine as well. Like you just forget that the body is there, and you just realize that you are like something else than your body, something like more an expansion of everything, and the body is not longer. I mean, the information in your mind are not longer coming from your senses, are coming from a direct source of everything. I don't know. I have a small experience in that as well, but I I think it's just that like the breathing is so essential for the body that is the doorway to feel more in experience the part of I am a spirit, right? So what I want to know what Tom Wakeshall wants to say about this, because he was so happy in the mountain that I want to hear his words about this.
Okay, Tom, I don't know if he can hear you, but I'm looking at
Oh,
the.
okay.
There he is.
I just um, I I don't want to interrupt you, Bob. Go ahead if you
No,
want.
well, I was just gonna. No, I actually, it's better for you to respond to
Oh,
be
oh,
honest. I
okay.
was going to
Well,
move slightly.
I was well in regards to whenever I'm or whenever you guys were talking about Kundalini and the energy, I was just running God's energy or love throughout my body. That's what I was kind of doing, just recharging uh, the body instrument. But so I understand what you guys were talking about with. I was doing the grand orbit. If you know just running the energy through the various uh, well the overall system of the body in a particular way. But normally whenever I'm sitting here smiling, I'm just I'm aware of what you guys are saying and everything. I'm just uh, bathing in the love of God, I guess. I so
You're
um,
doing the work that we are not doing.
yeah, yeah.
Could you
I guess you
explain
could say
that, Tom?
I'm trying to I'm doing what you're talking
What you sound like it sounds like a meditation. You said it's the grand what? What
about.
did you call that?
Orbit. It's just the circulation of the prana, or whatever you want to call the energy, the ki, or through the body, because the body is an instrument, and you want it to be fully functional whenever you need that, and so you need to uh, recharge it, so to speak, but it's directed from the spirit or the mind, as opposed to, just accepting that energy that's out there. And so we're are just really connecting to your spirit. And like I say, I see the body as my instrument, that I want to keep it in, uh, you know, I want it to be my tool so that I can participate in time and space as needed, and that it will be able to serve me well. So I maintain uh, it, but I realize that it's not me. It's just a tool, and so I'm just recharging. And a lot of times when I'm doing those things, I don't sleep much. Uh, is because I'm constantly recharging. Because if you know about prana and stuff, that's energy flow, and that's what we need. So I don't know if that helps or not, but I'm getting in touch with the higher self and realizing what I truly am, although I'm aware of what's happening in front of me. Thank you.
Like you're behind the scenes.
Yes, don't pay no attention to that person behind the curtain. At the end of lesson 98, it says, wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry, 97. Salvation is the miracle of reawakening to the truth. It is the first and last miracle, for it is an acceptance that you are that one self, united with your Creator. It's still one. Salvation is the first and last miracle, since it ends the illusion of fear, which itself was never real. These are in Tom's notes. And the question, since it's now 8 o'clock, and when I understand that we're trying to wrap things up in a tidy way after an hour and a half, you can take these questions, but the question almost gives the answer away. It says there are only two possible choices. You are either spirit, perfect, whole, and complete, or you're a body, not perfect, not whole, and very incomplete. Given those two choices, why would you argue for your littleness? as I said, the question kind of has, I could even go further and say, you are either spirit, perfect, whole, and complete, or you're a body, not perfect, not whole, and very incomplete. So it it just focuses us to the more, maybe the closer to the core of what this one self is all about. And I think that the answer to that is, I am spirit. That is what we are. And yet, this thing called spirit is something that we can't touch, we can't hold, we can't dump, we can't mold. Gee, I just spoke in rhymes. That was pretty good. Um, but it's so powerful because inspiration is such a beautiful big word. When we're inspired to do something, it's not just force.
I just found the etymology of the spirit, and it's
Mhm.
Latin word for breathe.
Yeah, the breath,
Yeah.
back to the breath. I have
Yeah.
enjoyed this discussion this morning, and we've got a lot of different points of view from different folks, uh, Andy included, who sometimes, Andy, you think that you say something. Everything is part of the goodness of this group here. It's all good because each of us is coming from this place, that place, the other place. We do come together and we recognize that we are one spirit. So, um, Adriana, I'm going to turn it over to you to end the meeting. And
Okay.
thank you very much.
Okay. I will just give you this again. Um, or you are a rainbow, or you recognize yourself that the rainbow comes from one single light. In order for us to see a rainbow in the sky, there's there has to be light. And in your body, the chakras are the rainbow within yourself. But in order for there to be a rainbow, it has to be light. So, or you recognize yourself as different colors, separated from each other or incomplete, or you acknowledge that in order for you to see rainbow, there has to be light. So there's only light. And remember from this lesson 97 that spirit I am, or spirit am I, a holy son of God, free of all limits, safe and healed and whole, free to forgive and free to save the world. Save the world from your splitted mind. That's the only thing that you need to do. You don't need to save the world outside. You just need to save the world in your mind. Forgive it. Spare the idea of the rainbow, because in order to see a rainbow, there has to be light. So there's only light. Okay? And if anybody wants to share something else, I'm gonna be here too. If everybody wants to just say goodbye and whatever, we are open to hear you. I will stay here with the room open for a little bit more time. I just want to thank you all. I really enjoyed these sessions because now I'm really understanding deeply. I am spirit, and I will just be determined every single day to remember that I am spirit. I am spirit. Okay?
Yeah, I would just like to add, like, the only thing that's holding myself or you or anybody back from the realization of that truth is their own arguing for their limitations. If you just accept the truth and stop arguing for your littleness, uh, you'll you'll realize the truth. It'll fall in front of you, right before your eyes. Thank you. Create a great day. Namaste.
That
Namaste,
was
spirit of the
okay.
mountain.
Namaste.
Okay, I think, and I've got to run too. So, namaste.
Love you, Bob. I love to see you again in the screen.
I love to see you too. Bye,
I
everyone.
love seeing all of you. I look forward to seeing all your
Bye.
faces in these little circles every morning.
Yeah, Andy and Janine, I'm gonna write to you a little bit later because I already talked to Michael. So I'm gonna talk to you both later through WhatsApp. Okay?
Yay!
Would love that.
I love all of you so, so much. Have a great day.
Great day, everybody. Let's breathe in Holy Spirit and breathe out Kingdom of Heaven.
Fine.
I love
Aho.
that.
I've
Love
got
it.
to find out how divine reflection. I know that your father was not Mr. Reflection and your mother wasn't Mrs. Reflection, and how the
That's
kid.
true. All truth, Bob. All truth.
That's a good one.
That
That's it.
was good. That was good. So now I have to be that. Yeah.
Well, I'm staying. I'm not going anywhere. I've got at least 30 more minutes of driving before I can stop the stream, so it's going to stay open, I think. And that's okay too.
Well, I'm here with your entire plane. You can ask my help if you want.
You're a slave to spirit. Well, at least I do hear the music now. You were right about that. Down pretty far. That's okay.
Maybe because you're driving, because I'm hearing it really quite well right now. And uh, if I put the volume up, I will not hear voices then. So I love this volume right now.
You've done it perfectly. I did not mean to say anything other than now I can hear it and I couldn't hear it before, and so I appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm learning
No
to
problem. And I'll see
fly.
you in about 25 minutes.
Okay, honey, I'm here.
I'm sending so much love to each one of you beautiful souls in here right now.
Now that feels wonderful. I get it. I'm gonna hop on 95 and spread all that around on 95.
Yes.
Thank you, Divine.
Coming back the opposite of road rage, bringing some road peace.